Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. I know we skipped the podcast, but Steban and I holding it down for the fort right now, real quick. How's it going, Steban? How's your
Uh,
weekend?
we've had a really good weekend. Sadly, Lorenzo is not here tonight. He got a little busy at work. It happens. All right.
Yeah. Working
But
the
that's what
graveyard
you got
shift.
me. That's what you got me and Angel for. I mean, I know y'all missed Angel. I haven't seen his face in a
It's
little
been a
while
while.
because he's been taking care of the future generation, which is more important than a little bit of this Astro stuff. Regardless, we're still gonna be here and try our hardest to cover what we can. But overall, man, I had a really good weekend. Nice and chill. Genuine vibes with some good friends and family. Did that 10K run this
Oh yeah, how
weekend.
was that? Oh, so you did the 10K or the 5K? I was gonna ask that.
I did the 10K. Some of the boys did the five. I mean, doesn't matter. I mean, everybody. Just the whole point of going out there and enjoying it with each other and spending some good vibes. Let me flash that
Uh,
real quick. The little
there you
5K
go. There
medal,
you
but
go.
it's honestly pretty cool because I didn't know that it was the first part of that.
Steban, you kind of cut off at the end. I didn't. It was the first what?
It was the first race organization set up for the Space Cowboys there. So
Okay.
maybe hopefully keep it making it like an annual thing with the boys and stuff. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I also heard you left your mark on the field too.
Oh yeah,
You claimed your territory right there by
yeah.
by the
I got a
foul line.
little overhydrated on the electrolytes. They had a
Yeah, but I'm glad you had a good weekend. Football's back too, so I know those fantasy teams getting ready. Unfortunately, I took the L
How
against
was your weekend?
Lorenzo. Good, good. It was good. I played some baseball, spent some time with my family. I don't know if you've heard of. I might be butchering the name. It's called Taroko Sports. It's out there in Katy. You heard about that?
I don't think I've heard of it. No, but is that like
So
a field or something?
no. It's this Taiwanese type of arcade, and it has like batting cages, but it's like simulated. So they have like an AI pitcher throwing at you to get your
Hmm.
timing. They have like it's a bunch of they have pitching stuff, hitting stuff, bowling,
That
arcade,
sounds pretty
darts, and all that
cool.
good stuff. Yeah,
How much?
and it's pretty cheap. That what? It's pretty cheap, honestly. Think I spent $50, but for like 100 something games and like the game tickets, and I think each the most expensive thing was like 6 tickets, and it was like the batting cages. But overall, it was pretty good. But just before we get into all the Astros things, we do have a full agenda talking about the Astros aim to hold the AL West least. It's crunch time here in September, and the Astros have some important games coming up in the next 3 weeks. We'll give you that Rangers recap. Huge series versus Toronto, a little bit of Astros injuries around the horn. But just let us know where you can follow us. You can find us on anywhere you get your podcast. Also, for any media posts on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at Full Steam Ahead. Except when your internet was kind of off, so I kind of just went on. I don't know if you're back with us. Okay, I think so.
Are you there?
I'm good here now. How's your
Yeah.
internet?
Okay. I switched to my hotspot real quick because my Wi-Fi for some reason is bugging right now. I don't know what's going on with AT&T, but I put my hotspot on, so I think we should be good. All right. It sound good.
Yes, a lot better now. But
But also, yeah, I see Brady Sanchez. Yeah, he also pulled up, so he had
there you
a
go.
listener pulled up and joined and represent with the full scene gang. So
There you go.
tip of the cap to Brady. But yeah, let's get into this little recap. Uh,
Yeah, for sure. Again, the Astros are 78 and 66. Still first in the AOS, do hold a 2.5 lead over the Seattle Mariners in the AOS. However, the Seattle Mariners are playing today. The Rangers, last time I checked, were winning today as well. So the Astros do have a 4 game lead on the Texas Rangers too, six in their 6 last 10 games. So let's get started with that. A recap
Mariners
for us.
Mariners are down two so far, bottom of the
Okay.
fifth.
So you're an Astros fan.
And
Good news.
Rangers actually were victorious 5-1. I mean 5-0.
So it's a 3.5 game lead again. So the Rangers are chirping on, like, kind of like still
And
battling
the
with them.
Astros they messed up, man. I mean, the Rangers aren't the healthiest at the moment, and they pretty much allowed their what Joe said. I mean, not Joe, what Zoe said. They
Yeah.
allowed the JV team kind of come up and spank on the big league roster, which that's inexcusable for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, speaking as though this is what he starts, and I'm reading it off my phone. He said, "These are Lorenzo's thoughts on major series. Easily a sweep, but offense was inconsistent and had multiple opportunities, multiple all caps. You can't lose to a JV squad the Rangers are putting out." And I quote again, that's Lorenzo, what he had to say about the series.
I'm here still. Go for it. I'm just gonna need to connect something real quick.
All right, that's good. I can do game one then. So game one. Well, before I do, the Astros did lose the series. Texas leads the Silver Boot Series 6-4. Game one started off with a loss. The Texas Rangers beat the Astros 3-4. Colin Gordon had to pitch again. Spencer Getty had left elbow inflammation. I'm sorry, right elbow inflammation. So not good news if you're the Astros fans. Again, those elbow inflammations seem to tag the Astros this season, especially. But Colton Gordon, 4 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Did throw 71 pitches, 49 strikes, 6 whiffs. Fastball topped out at 95%. So before I move on, I know Colton Gordon's back in AAA, but and you do have Luis Garcia back. Lance McCullers has seen, Christian Ray back too. Lance McCullers has seen time in the bullpen. Do you think there's room for Colton Gordon in that bullpen, especially to eat up some innings come playoff time?
Um, I wouldn't see why not. He's a pretty good lefty. I mean, he could probably be better than some of the lefty options that we have in the bullpen at the moment. I'm not saying that the lefties options we have are bad or anyway, but he could possibly compete with the people that we have in the bullpen. I mean, given the fact that JP Francis will be coming back soon, so you got to see maybe what the Astros still going to decide about him or Lance, working out the pin as well.
Yeah, I mean, they get again. The Astros do have Craig Kimbrell now, Angelo Santos. They still have Brian King, Caleb Ward, uh, Logan Van Logan Van White too, Stephen Okert. So I mean, they still got some good dogs in the bullpen. But I think the Astros might be considering Gordon too. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad option. Show what he can do.
Yeah, especially say you have a bad start to somebody, and he'll be able to maybe possibly go six for you. I mean, why not? I wouldn't beat it. You can't beat it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and although this wasn't his best pitching performance, I mean, kept the Astros in the game. Only allowing 3 earned runs and fastball did top at 95. So again, and he's left-handed too, so that helps out a lot. But the Astros did face off against Merrill Kelly, who the Astros had their eye on this, free, trade deadline. It didn't work out. Rangers got him, and Merrill Kelly kind of made him pay for not signing him earlier this season. The Astros only tallied 5 hits against Kelly and only allowed 1 run. But the Astros rallied kind of late in the eighth inning. Carlos Correa game tying home run in the eighth. Carlos Correa has that clutch screen, but the Astros played really poorly, had really poor at bats and extras. Like they went to the 12th inning, but couldn't bring home that runner on second base. The Astros were 2-14 with runners in scoring position this game. 9 runners left on base as well. So again, offensively, not a pretty series. Uh, the bullpen did all it could to hold off the Rangers, but eventually it wasn't enough for the Astros.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing when you're in extra innings, and it's kind of a given with the ghost runner at second base there. I mean, you would think it's a given. Obviously, it's a game of baseball, and you got to move the runner over. You hit to somebody, you might ruin your chances. Say you hit to the left side of the infield, you're obviously not going to advance the runner because then you're going to lose the ghost runner possibly in the middle of the play. But it's something that, like we've been preaching and saying, they got to get better at situational hitting. If other teams could do it, if minor leaguers could do it, then why can't a big leaguer produce that type of simple swing? Or nonetheless learn how to bunt. If you can't bunt in the big league level, that's pretty wild. You know what I mean? That's something that, everybody doesn't, you can never stop getting better. So if you can't bunt, then you need to go out there and learn how to bunt as well. I mean, everybody always think long ball, smoke a single up the middle, but I mean, a lot of times little things can make a hectic thing happen, a small bunt, small dribbler down the line, force an errant throw, runner comes in, just there's a lot of situations that stuff could happen in baseball, and Astros really need to, execute on this ghost running scoring and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean the offense didn't show up in game one, but game two, my God, I think they were a little playing angry there.
But let's move on here to game two. Astros were victorious on this one. The offense really showed out this one. You could say with 11-0 win. So as well did Hunter Brown, who went 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, 8 Ks, with a 2.25 ERA now, which is really well for Hunter. I'm pretty sure he's stoked and ecstatic about that, getting that ugly month of July out the way. 107 pitched for Hunter, 69 strikes, produced 15 whips, 95 mph on the fastball, and topped out at 97.7. So after Hunter's rough stretch in July, Hunter Brown has turned it around in his last 8 starts with a 1.48 ERA, and that is in a total of 48.2 innings pitched, allowed 36 hits in that frame, and 46 Ks.
Yeah, it's crazy how one bad month can kind of affect the Cy Young voting, honestly, because I think Tyreek Schoolball's running away with it, but Hunter Brown has pitched amazing. And, take out that month of October, he has, an ERA less than 2.93 in every other month. In March and April, 1.22 ERA, May, 2.93 ERA, June, 1.19 ERA, August 1.67 ERA, and to start September, I think for a start 0 ERA. So it's just that one bad month of July where he had his ERA inflated 5.554, and then again the slugging too. The slugging in that month of July was 447. It's 100 points less than every other month. So one bad month, but I think Astros fans they're excited, I guess you can say, or it feels good to see Hunter Brown back into form and leaving that month, like you said, leaving that month of July behind because it's almost payout time. It's a crunch time, honestly. And we'll talk about this in a little bit. 3 more weeks of baseball, playing 3 weeks, playing really good teams this last stretch too, and crucial series are going to be coming up. So having Hunter Brown, you know, being elite is it's a good thing if you're an Astros fan.
Yeah, and then one thing I also want to bring up real quick, Astros, I wouldn't say dodged the bullet. Well, you kind of said they kind of did dodge the bullet by, playing a safe route and bringing back, welcome home Carlos Correa over Eugenio Suarez, who went to the Mariners. Astros would have probably spent a boatload of prospects, especially for Gino. So I wanted to bring something up. Eugenio Suarez with the Mariners and Carlos Correa, Astros, have both played 33 games since being traded. So I'm gonna read Suarez's stat line real quick. He's playing 1.198, 263 with 7 home runs and 19 RBIs. Correa is .299, 352 with 425, 4 home runs and 16 RBIs. So Gino does have a little bit on the RBIs, but Correa is just playing overall well better, and can't complain about the Gold Glove of Correa as well.
Yeah, I know in the beginning I was kind of opposed to this just because of the age of Correa. He hadn't been playing really good this season with Minnesota, but you can't deny that leadership, you know, part.
Yeah,
And
it's
and
irreplaceable. Gino's not going to carry that.
yeah, you're right. And honestly, I think Correa just loves being in Houston because he's really turned it around this season too. Much better numbers than it was earlier this season in Minnesota. So I think he likes the warm, humid weather here in Houston.
Yeah, most
Especially
definitely. I
playing
mean, this is home for
with,
him. He's relaxed. He loves the environment, I'm sure. I mean, pretty sure it's just overall well better, more Mexican, not Mexican culture, but, I mean,
Hispanic
maybe
or
not
Latino.
Hispanic culture. That's, yeah, Latino culture in the city of Houston. So, I mean, you're eating good, you're around a good environment. You see a lot of your culture kind of around the city. I'm not saying maybe Minnesota didn't have it, but I'm sure it's not as compared to Houston. It's like, here you just feel relaxed, comfortable. You're around guys that, are more Latin culture as well. So you just feel excited to be at work. You feel excited to be with your boys on the team, excited to, shit the bed and joke around. And, that's what baseball is about, because before you play in a sport, you got to get along with everybody else. You got to have fun with everybody else as well.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that culture standpoint later in the podcast too. Coming up with a player that will hit hard on this, in a bit.
But real quick, offensively, you get a home run from Christian Walker and the big man, your Don Alvarez, a pitch hit triple from the Cam Smith, and then Diaz, Tremel Walker lead as well by example.
Yeah, so yeah, they had doubles this series. Sorry, I forgot to
Yeah,
put that on.
on that one, those three had
Yeah,
the doubles. Okay, yeah. So yeah, and Tremel too, man. You just got to give a tip of the cap. That dude is really hungry, and that's somebody that you're gonna want out there to, especially playoff times. You know, even if he's not starting, you know, with Jake coming back, you're still gonna want a little depth. You know, maybe hey, you want to give Jake a day off, and you want to put a lefty out there in center that's gonna play as hard as Jake, that's gonna leave his body all out the line, and that's the type of player he's gritty, really gritty. Tremel, you know that he's gonna do it all. He'll run into a damn wall. He'll probably pull his hamstring to save a ball. He'll just lay
yeah.
out and do what he has to do. So that's what the Astros need, and I'm glad the Astros were able to pick this guy up, and now he's gonna prove to all the teams that pass on him.
Yeah, he's been hitting so well lately at the Yankees had to go take a look at his bat. I know we didn't talk about that
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We didn't talk about
last
that,
series,
but yeah, that was
but
so dumb. They looked dumb after that.
yeah, I mean, I get it because I don't know if you saw the bat. It had like the paint chip and it kind of like a little like
Yeah, but
the
that's
more
what happens
brownish
when
color.
you're a good hitter. Wear and tear. He's been using that bat for so dang long. Good hitters, they don't really change out bats. Some guys you could tell. You just look at the bat, you see the pine tar, you see the wear and tear, and you're like, okay, he hasn't broke a bat in a while. And then some of them always breaking balls. I mean, always breaking bats.
And honestly, I don't know what's more impressive, using the same bat for batting
Like all
practice
season
or
or whatever.
like going so long without breaking the bat, and especially when you got guys throwing 99 right in your
Yeah, like
hand, and then
how?
yeah, so like I just broke my bat 2 weeks ago, so and I'm not seeing 99s or like 90 miles per hour, so again, impressive.
Was it a good bat at least that you broke?
Yeah, it was a dovetail bat. I really liked that one. The barrel was pretty big. Like
Man,
when I hit it good, it felt good, but it's all right. I had a Marucci as a backup, so I'm using that right now.
I like Maruchas. Maruchas are cool, but the ones that I liked back then too was the axe. The axe handle was just cool,
Yeah,
like the,
Xando.
the little maple bats they had and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't get over the smell of it. I would like back then when I had one, I would always be like smelling the cupping at the end, and I'd be like, man, it just smells good.
Man, one of my teammates has a bomb bat, dude. Those are legit.
Oh yeah, that's
They
sick.
feel so good. They feel so good. Yeah.
Actually, we're getting off track real quick, but yeah, one of my boys also texted me about he's probably gonna need players again, so I'm probably gonna go out there and see, knock
There you
some
go.
rust off, and see what's up on one of these Sundays.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Again, like I said, I played this weekend. We got rained out in the fifth. It was tied 2-2. So we got to
Oh
continue
man,
that game next Sunday. But moving on to game three. Again, Astros did lose this one as well, 2-4. Or was it 2-4, 3-4? Am I mistaken? I think it was 2-4.
uh, two.
Yeah, 2-4. They did lose, right? This was Framber Valdez's first start since the cross up, I guess you can call it. The cross up drama. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. 97 pitches, 59 strikes. Did have 9 whiffs there. Fran Valdez has shown he you know has shown his like that he still kind of lets his emotion gets the best of him at times. But in this start, he did get hurt early, but did a good job settling down a little bit, being able to throw a quality start. I know it says 4 runs, but 3 of them were earned, so it still considers a quality start. They didn't get really much help offensively. The Astros only had 5 hits. Doubles from Dubon and Walker, and then RBIs from Diaz and Pena were pretty much it offensively wise. Again, like Lorenzo said, an inconsistent offense. They showed up for game two, but then I show up for games 1 and 3, and Uh, I think the Astros haven't lost the Silver Boot series in a long while, and right now they're down two, and all they have is 3 games left for that series. That's going to be to come. But if you're the Astros fans, I think you leave with a sour taste in your mouth because you have the Blue Jays, Texas, Seattle, right? Really good teams coming up, and I think you would love to, you would have loved to get this series win against a depleted Rangers team.
Yeah, this just honestly makes a bunch of Houston Astro fans very sick. You know what I mean? This is a series that I'm sure. I mean,
Bless you, bless you.
I'm sure as a Houston fan, you want to win that in-state rivalry because you got family members in Dallas, majority of the people that are in Houston, or you just have Ranger fans. And same thing with the Texans, Cowboys, Dallas and Mavericks, Rockets. You know what I mean? It's an in-state rivalry, and it's something that some families might have little arguments build up or little bets on each other. Like, this is something that, the
Yeah.
Astros fans would really like to come and take, especially with the Rangers not being fully healthy. Like, you need to go out there and execute, and that's kind of sad. And then, my little cousin told me today, he goes, honestly, it's wild. We used to, like, every time Framber would pitch, it would win. And as of
Yeah.
recently, Astros can't find a way to win with Framber. They either bang him up or he beats himself up, and things happen, and the Astros are now 1-6, and Framber Valdez's last 7 starts, which that's something that you don't think we'd be saying right now or ever really say because how dominant Framber has been in his career as a lefty.
And it's crazy because earlier this season we were just talking about how great Framber was. Framber Valdez, remember, had a 13 game, consecutive win streak. I mean, he won 10 of those, right? But the Astros won 13 consecutive Framber starts, and you know, but this is not new for Framber. Like, remember, but I don't know, it was last year, 2 years ago. He started off great in the first half, and then second half completely disappears. And uh, you know, I have to agree with Houston, Texas Dave right here, where it says Hunter Brown has been the best pitcher lately. It's like yes, and
Definitely.
Framber Valdez was, I would still consider one of the aces in this, ball club, but it's been very hard to defend that lately, just because the whole drama that he caused, and now again, it's just the emotions. That's really it. It's just getting past that. You can only do so much. You got Correa there, you got Altuve there who can help, but again, at the end of the day, they can do their best, right? But Framber's got to figure it out. And then it says Framber is the franchise pitcher as well. So he's texted there. So
Yeah, Framber has been really great with the Astros. Not saying that stinks or he's not good, but maybe it's his Astros era might be coming to an end after this season. You know what I mean? He provided us really well with what he's done in his history. And if Framber is not happy, then why would you try to, keep somebody that's not happy with you, or maybe the organization is not happy with him? Who knows what's really deep down going on, or maybe it's off the field that stuff's going on with Framber. You can't really, I don't know the guy like that, and I don't know what's going on personally with him. So, you could just hope that he could try to at least finish the season strong. If I'm a professional athlete, and I know I'm a free agent, I'm not gonna be trying to surround myself by any drama or anything. I'm trying to try to be as good as I can and be as consistent as I can be.
I think we lost you right there, Sevan.
Okay, you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. But did you want to finish that out? I kind of lost you there a little bit.
Where'd you lose me at?
You were talking about Framber Valdez. I really forgot where I left
Yeah,
off,
well, I
but
mean, like I'm pretty much saying like he provided us really well, but this might be his last season as the Astros. Like he has really good stats historically and everything. Posted a lot of good stuff with the Astros. So I mean, every pitcher has a time and day. Every player has a time and day. Eventually, they get tired in the organization, or they're just he has stuff going on and off the field that we don't know about, and eventually, some players just better out to part ways sometimes instead of kind of like that long relation, toxic relation people hold with a girlfriend or boyfriend, and sometimes better off letting things go and let them flourish in their own way.
so
Houston
so
Houston
you
Dave says
go
that we
ahead.
should pay Framber.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
and then
if Framber wants to be in Houston, then he's gonna have to show on his case as well because as of late, it's a lot of drama, and you don't need that on a team that's kind of gonna transition to a younger team in the near future due to veterans getting older, and you're losing guys and you got guys coming up to fill in big league arms. So you need somebody that's going to lead it by example. I don't care how good of a player you are. You could be Cy Young, and if you're a douchebag on the team, then it's why would you want a cancer on your team? You're not. Eventually, you're going to have people in the clubhouse kind of same way. You don't want to see Hunter Brown pouting his head, punching his glove, throwing shit around. Like, do you want your ace to hold himself as a dog and be out there and not let people see his weak points, not let him feel defeated, not let the opposite team feel defeated? Because once you show that you're the quarterback to the freaking game. You're controlling the whole game that's going on. So once you give up, guess what? Your offense is going to give up. They're not going to want to go out there and bat. Oh, this guy doesn't even care. He doesn't want to pitch, leaving stuff over the plate. He's giving up home runs. You're just going to piss off your team.
Yeah, and I'm glad you bring that up because Framber Valdez is our next topic. Overall thoughts. Again, we've talked numerous times about his emotion, but I think, and we didn't really talk about it because again we didn't record. But I guess I can just hit on. Everybody knows what happened, right? Everybody. So I'm not going to really go into detail that part, right? He gets crossed up, I guess you could say in quotation, right? Crossed up with Caesar Salazar after Caesar Salazar tells him to step off. And Farmada still makes the pitch, and that was a home run. The next thing you know, cross up hits Caesar Salazar in the chest. Farmada claims it wasn't intentional. We'll leave it at that. Caesar Salazar said it wasn't intentional too. It's just a cross up. Everybody has their own opinion. It's valid, right? I'm not gonna say what mine is, just for the matter of, uh, I don't know what really happened, so I don't want to speculate or anything like that. But at this point right now, it's not just hurting the team; it's hurting Prime Valdez as well.
Mm.
Honestly, being his emotions have finally has finally been like we see Prime Valdez in the big moments, get frustrated, but I think this was a turning point for that because I think Fran Valdez could have potentially cost himself a little bit of money. This is per Bob Nightingale. It says one organization has already crossed Framber Valdez off their list of free agent candidates following the culture cross-up incident. This incident could end up costing Framber millions of dollars in free agency. And the thing is, if you look at the reaction, again, I'm not gonna say if it's intentional or not, but I don't know if it's just frustration, anger, for allowing that home run. But when a pitcher and catcher get crossed up, or if you were to cross up your pitcher, Seva, what's your first reaction?
Like as the catcher or the pitcher?
No, as a pitcher, what's your first reaction?
If you cross up your catcher, you're gonna be like, "Oh shoot, my bad," or like
Yeah,
instant. If it's
check on
not
the player.
purpose, but you're gonna check on him and you're gonna step off and you're gonna be like, "Oh, like you're gonna see it instantly, like oh regret." But when
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
situation, there was no regret,
Yeah,
and you kind of could tell like you didn't see no like, "Oh my bad, bro," like oh sorry, I
yeah,
couldn't hear. Even if you're rushing it, why are you gonna just throw it down the middle in his chest? Maybe let loosen off and throw a little 40-mile-per-hour double dribble it in the dirt in front of the catcher. Just
yeah,
if you say pitch clock violation or whatnot. But I mean, if you even look at Anthony Volpe in the batter's box, he even looked confused. Like he looks like he wasn't expecting that type of pitch in the moment. And guess what? Fastball comes down the middle, and he's just surprised how it just beams Caesar in the chest. And big tip of the cap for Caesar to being professional about it. And you know, possibly if he did cover for Framber, that's not my situation. But if he did, that's on him, and give him props for being the bigger person and sticking up for his teammate, even though his teammate was kind of in a bind at the moment and possibly wasn't in the right mind at the moment. So, Framber probably thought back after what happened and, probably felt bad, but tip off the cap to Caesar for being professional.
yeah. Again, a lot of mixed reviews on this. Agent Brzezinski said he would have thrown the ball right at Framber's back because he didn't even
He,
check on him.
yeah, he just turned around.
If you cross up your pitch, especially like for example, I'm gonna my first reaction is, "Are you okay?" Like especially throwing 90 plus mile per hour. Like I know they have that chest protection, knee
Yeah,
guards, but it still
with
hurts.
90 mile per hour
Yeah,
to the chest. That chest protector is like basically there for if a ball is spiked in the dirt, just to keep you
yeah,
like off that dribble off the ground, not straight to your
straight
chest.
up, yeah, straight to yeah, exactly, right. So the fact that he turned around, I think made this whole thing a big deal. And honestly, Anthony Volpe made this a big deal because for taking the ball right down the middle, if he would have swung at that, no
Dude,
one's talking
dude,
about this
say
controversy.
say Yeah, they made a joke about that. Yeah, like even
Yeah,
they're like it's rare. Like, I don't. They said I don't know what's more rare about this happening or Anthony Volpe looking at the fastball go right in the middle for a strike. But
yeah,
also think about it. Say if it didn't hit his chest, what if it would have hit his throat?
yeah.
And then what kind
No,
of
that's what I'm
situation?
saying.
What
It,
kind of
it, it,
maybe you would have injured him really severely?
yeah, I mean, it's a dangerous kind of like thing to do, especially again. Trevor Valdez knows how fast he throws, and Caesar Salazar's not I'm not gonna say not an experienced catcher. I'm sure he's been catching his whole life, but this is a catcher that's only played in what 7, 8 games this season. You know, going up against a veteran, you don't expect that to happen. He was caught off guard, you know, because people were saying he could have easily caught it. I was like, when you're sitting curveball, Framber Valdez, that fastball is gonna be at your chest in a matter of seconds, right? So it's gonna, caught him off guard. But this again, so I do think this costs Framber Valdez a pretty hefty paycheck. Now, talent wise, it's there. You just saw Max Fried get paid, but Max Fried is cool as a cucumber when it comes to pressure situations. Showed that he can do it. But the fact that you never know what Fernando Valdez you're going to get on the mound, the fact that he caused the situation, the fact that he hasn't, I guess, matured in that instance, it's going to hurt him, I think, in free agency. And honestly, could benefit the Astros. If they can get Fernando Valdez on a low because of this incident, that's a win. But going back to what Esteban you were saying earlier, how does this affect the clubhouse? Like you got guys like Jose Altuve, Fernando Valdez, a Jose Altuve who got in a young Lance McCullers face when he showed off Yuli Gurriel for making that error. Right? Obviously, there's things we don't see in the clubhouse. There's things to me doesn't see in the clubhouse, but I wonder if the Astros were to re-sign Fernando Valdez, how would it affect the clubhouse? How would it? How would that go in? What would be the buy-in for like a guy like Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, who are the leaders in that clubhouse?
So then also one thing I wanted to bring up. So just to reference, obviously Farmer throws a little bit harder, but a 95 mile per hour pitch should possibly take about 0.40 seconds from the mound to the catcher. A breaking ball averaging about 79 mile per hour, possibly a curveball, what maybe Caesar was probably expecting,
Yeah,
takes about
I'm
zero,
definitely
zero
expecting.
yeah, takes about 0.48 seconds to travel from the mound to the catcher. So that's a pretty dramatic change in speed. You're good regardless, 70 mile per hour, you're to compared to a 95, 97, 98 mile per hour pitch. That's something that you just can't like, okay, I'm gonna just adjust quickly. Like, yeah, you're a catcher. Obviously, some people think, oh, he's a catcher regardless, he's gotta have to catch it. No, not when you're expecting
Yeah.
something like that. Not when you're set up maybe for low and away and you get beamed down the middle.
As you can tell, Caesar Salazar glove was already like closer to the ground because anticipating, that curve, especially when Ramirez has a sharp curveball the way he does, right? So it's kind of hard to react that fast when you're not expecting it, right? So, but what takes that one? I mean, I already said that I think this does hurt for Valdez, his free agency. He does, I think he does lose some money. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm sure like teams are gonna take into considerate the way Farmer plays is your big time because who cares about last season, the 2-3 years ago? That's anybody changes in a week. Anybody could, I mean, not in a week, but people change in 6 months to 12 months. You could be a completely different person, but still, like that's just something that you don't want to deal with. The drama queen. Nobody wants a drama queen on their team, especially if you're the pitcher. You're controlling the whole game, so. I mean, it's definitely going to hurt him. So somebody obviously is going to want him, but I definitely believe that they're not going to want to negotiate and give him a max pay because of that.
Yeah, I think because of this, and I could be wrong, but I've been wrong before. When it comes to contract and free agency and stuff like that. But I don't think Valdez gets max free money now.
No, heck no.
Earlier this season, yes, I would have said someone's going to pay him, a healthy left-handed pitcher, as as dominant as Framber Valdez has been, throughout his career. But now, I think it might make some teams reluctant to give Framber Valdez that kind of money. Now, again, like I said earlier, it might benefit the Astros. Framber Valdez has shown he wants to stay in Houston. He likes playing here, pitching here, but are the Astros willing to deal with that for another maybe 5 years, right? I think 5, 6 years. It's yet to be seen. And like I said, I wonder how the clubhouse will take, uh, you know, and I'm not saying like I'm not throwing shade to Cesar Salazar, but he's a role player, right? But he's still one of the those people in the clubhouse. Like he's still one of the boys out there. He's still one of the guys that this team. He's one of them, right? So whenever you hurt or intentionally try to hurt someone, people are gonna take that the wrong way real quick.
Yeah, it's not looking good though.
And then honestly, I didn't get to see the game, but do you know who caught Framber this last time? Was it Salazar or was it Caratini?
Let me check who's the
I
catcher
can
that.
check right now because Fernando Valdez has him. Yanni Diaz kind of caught Fernando Valdez, but then it shows that it was Yanni Diaz catching.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was.
but there's been kind of that when Yanni Diaz caught Fernando Valdez wasn't on his best, so that was a move from Cesar Salazar to Fernando Valdez, but then back to Yanni Diaz just because Fernando Valdez made that whole incident again. So it'd be interesting to see who catches Cesar Salazar. Now, knowing this, right? Knowing that Yanni Diaz and Fernando Valdez, guess connection hasn't been there and starts. Obviously, this incident with Cesar Salazar. You think Marty comes back now? Or what do you think? Just to catch Fernando Valdez to get him in
Hell,
order?
hell no,
I
no,
don't think
hell
so
no.
either. I
No,
don't think so either.
it's just Cranber's gonna be on a different team, in my opinion. I don't think Astros should force themselves to try to deal or put up with that, especially because you could possibly maybe pick somebody else up for cheaper, or you could do something else with all that money. You know what I mean? Especially with new catchers are also going to be possibly coming up too as well. You got um, what's homie's name from Sam Houston? I forgot his name. I've been forgetting his name. The catcher prospect that we have,
Walker
Walker.
Yannick.
Yeah, Walker Yannick. Especially with guys like him coming up, you know what I mean? You just but you can invest that money other ways. So, as my opinion, everybody's going to think differently, and Framber also has to take and consider that you have little kids watching you on TV, or you have little kids at the ballpark, future ball players, future MLB big leaguers, future college players, and that's something that you don't want them seeing either. Then you're gonna have little kids out there being drama queens, being divas, which baseball does not need that.
Yeah.
You know,
And
and baseball is any other sport. Then if you like drama or being divas and this, then go watch basketball where they flop. Go watch football where they emote and dance and do all this. You know what I mean?
go watch Patrick Mahomes play football. You want to watch he was on the field.
Yeah, like I mean, baseball is baseball, and that's what I love baseball for, it being a simple yet so hard game.
Absolutely. But I disagree with you. I think this incident might benefit the Astros and they can get Fernando Valdez a little bit on a discount price. I don't think it'll be a bad idea. I mean, because you can't deny the talent's there. Like
Yeah,
sinker ball, like a lefty sinker baller with a sharp curveball. I mean, the talent's there. You can't deny that. Uh, I think the Astros wouldn't mind setting Fernando Valdez but I don't know. I don't know if this, but again, like I said, I don't know if this puts a sour taste in the mouth of the clubhouse, upper management, Dana Brown, Jim Crane, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that make the decisions of if they're willing to sign Fernando Valdez. I think they do make them an offer to keep him again, just because again, Fernando Valdez is valuable on any team. Again, you can't deny the talent. So I would agree with Houston Texas Day about paying for Amber. I think they will, and I think he just cost himself and maybe a Nationals discount just because of this incident.
yeah. I mean, you put it that way, it does seem a little giving, a little giving,
Yeah.
but to each your own. We're not a part of the organization, so whatever happens is going to happen, and the Astros will have a very serious talk with Framber, And if they want to bring him back, then things are gonna have to change, and I'm sure Framber will change. But
Yeah.
it could go either way. But let's move on from this. Jordan and Myers return. Jordan 11 for 22 in his last 5 games, and Myers 1 for 5 Saturday, 1 for 4 Sunday. Jake Myers is, it's gonna take a little time for him to heat up, but Jake is gonna be Jake, and Jake's glove is gonna be present and known as well for situational hitting might improve once Jake gets back on fire. When runners need to be brought in because Jake is really well at contact hitting, and the big man is that's how you show that he's a superstar. And look at that, like he just takes so much time off and come back and asserts his dominant on big league pitching, taking players' yard and just spraying the field, being a pure hitter like he is. That's the talent the Astros bid it on, and guess what? It's paying off for them for have somebody like that at such high caliber come off basically the couch and heat right up. And especially when the Astros are in chase for the division and the playoff and also possibly another World Series ring.
Yeah, I think Saturday and Sunday you might have seen two potential playoff lineups right there. I know the first one featured Jesus Sanchez, Cam Smith on the bench because Jordan Howard playing in the outfield. Because Jesus gets some carry teams and bats. But I think the Astros lineup is, as advertised now. I think this is the lineup that the Astros fans wish they had all year. A healthy Pedro Valdez, Jake Myers still doing his thing out there, Carlos Correa back. You know,
Sanchez depth, stuff
yeah.
like that. And then,
Now,
we get into Zenzo coming back as well eventually, and that's going to be nice. And then you possibly have other prospects in the farm that could maybe make a chance at getting onto the big league roster whenever the Astros are going to make a move for the playoffs. It wouldn't hurt.
yeah, it'll be interesting because I think the Astros offense kind of has cooled down drastically. I would say, I think that's the right word to use because,
And then I could think about it. Okay, so look, if you look at the Rangers, obviously they brought up prospect players because people are hurt, but sometimes those prospects might just be the little spark you might need. That they're just a little hungrier, a little fresh. Some of them not always going to pan out instantly, but the ones that do, those are the ones that stand out. And if some other teams could do and take the risk and are willing for the risk to see the high reward, then I mean, take a bid on it. You got a lot of guys in the farm that are, kind of heating up pretty well.
yeah, but going back to the offense real quick, it's crunch time. Like I've been saying, 3 weeks left of baseball, and you got your full lineup now, but yet struggle 2 games out of the three against Rangers. Not be it the Rangers do have good pitching, right? They did see Jacob DeGrom. They did see what was it this year? Well, again, overall in general, they have a great lineup, right? A great pitching rotation. But this is the next series for like the next series the Astros have. They
Hmm.
play against Toronto, who right now have the best record in the American League. Texas, division foe, who leads the Silver Boot Series. Seattle, the team that's trying to catch up to them second base. So they're going they're going to be throwing the kitchen sink at the Astros. Athletics, a young, hungry team who's shown they can beat Houston, especially with Kurtz on the other side, and Jacob Wilson on the other side as well. And you got the Angels. You finish off there. If the offense can't figure it out, can't be more consistent with those teams left, you might be seeing the Astros kind of slip off that first base act.
It's very possible with the way baseball is and the way the Astros playing. They can't drop games anymore like that. Well, at
Yeah,
least not at least series. They can't drop series.
series wins. Yeah,
They need to execute on winning these remainder of the season series because the division's going to slip out real fast in the
yeah,
blink of an eye, and you could possibly lose it by drastically, or what's going to hurt more is losing it by barely. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's gonna come down to a very nail biting end of the season, and the Astros really need to do something, man. There's no excuse. You're so deep into the season already, like you got to get it done if you want to play competitive baseball.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say this Texas series is the last series the Astros can lose. Like, if
Mhm.
especially if they like, they're 5 games out of the bye week in the playoffs, and you got Toronto, who if you sweep them, that will be, Astros fans should be licking their chomps if they sweep the Toronto Blue Jays, because now you're
Which,
only 2 games. Go ahead.
and then you got to think about it. Toronto did, you know, spice up their bullpen a little bit too.
Yeah.
So if you're not winning by the time that starter comes out, good luck.
Yeah. And the pitching preview again is to come, but not very much information yet. But
Oh,
this is like, just to finish off this note real quick, Sevan.
mhm.
You know, if the Astros can sweep the Toronto Blue Jays, that would be the best thing scenario, because you're only 2 games out of first place. And if you're the Astros, I think you want that bye week, because if you're that third seed, you're most likely going to see Seattle again or the Rangers again, because that's literally who is back to back there. They they don't want to be in a wild card, right? They
Nobody
want
wants to
those
be a wild card team.
they want the division. The Rangers, knowing they have a good chance, want the division. So it is safe to say this is the last series they could lose if the Astros want to be AL West champions. And that's why this podcast is Astros into the AL West, because it's there for the taking, but yet it seems so far away because of the inconsistencies with the offense and how good the other teams have been.
Yeah, most definitely. And all these teams, they're gonna want to try to send the Astros home. You know, Athletics, the Mariners, the
Absolutely.
Rangers, the
Absolutely.
Angels, and it's just it can get ugly very fast for the Astros. That's all I can say. And they just got to play Astros baseball and play as a team. And I think everything should be fine. They just got to really execute on minimizing any little errors and just support each other, hold each other.
Prediction time. Do you think the Astros are AL West champions at the end of the season?
They should be. They have to be. And why I
I
say
didn't
have
say
to,
they
I
should
think,
be.
yeah, which is yes, they should be because they have
Okay.
to. They're a dominant team that needs to play like the dominant team that they are. They're not playing like who they are. All these guys that you have on this roster are really, really good players. A lot of gold glovers, really well hitters. You got sluggers, you got contact hitters, you got clutch players. And this is where the lights are shining, and you need to come out and show you that you're a superstar, that you're a big leaguer. Because, I mean, dude, this division is very, very hot and intense right now.
Absolutely. And like you said, all division foes, so they can care less about your record, about what you're trying to do. They're gonna play spoilers, like you said. However, say this. Say the Astros get passed by the Seattle Mariners and the Texas Rangers and they miss the playoffs. Or even if they get the wild card lead, like the wild card spot, do you think changes, not in the spot? I'm not saying Espada, because I think Espada has done a great job. But I'm saying, like, maybe Cintron or something like that. Do you think changes are due to be made?
I mean, I wouldn't knock it. It's just the way organizations are and the way how much money is involved and so many different coaching and staff. A lot of times people get swapped around, and sometimes there might be one little small thing that it might not even be the players. It could be something they're not learning right. I mean, I'm not saying anybody's doing a bad job as the organization coaching wise, but maybe there is something going on that we don't see or that we don't know, that maybe Astros probably could upgrade in the off season, but only time will tell. Only time will tell how the season goes and how the playoffs goes if we do eventually end up there. But the
Yeah.
Astros have been dominant in so many years, whether it's hitting coach, actual coach, manager, whatever it is, they've been dominant and seem to have overcome a lot of these little rumors, cheating scandals, the batter's eye was hard to see, not being able to win at home, just all kinds of stuff. And the Astros dig through and overcome a bunch of adversity, especially like this season. You get the injury chapter of the Astros era, so it's like you know things happen, and that's just how it goes. You know, you can't always have picture perfect seasons, picture perfect rosters, non-injured players. You know, things just happen.
Yeah, unless something crazy happens in this past 2 weeks, it should be the Yankees get that first wild card spot, then the Red Sox get that second one, right? But again, the Yankees are still in play to win the division. So again, like unless something crazy happens, like I said, then the Astros will either face Seattle, Texas, Cleveland, or Kansas City, right? So, or even the Tampa Bay Rays are still in the hunt too. So it's a pretty, pretty tight race for that last wild card spot. I don't know. I'll put in the comments who would you rather see the Astros face in that last wild card spot. But if they didn't make it to the playoffs again, they have to win. And I'd say if they don't make it to the playoffs, or if they're a wild card team, I'd say Cintron and the rest of the pitch, like hitting coaches are out. I think the inconsistencies are just too much. This is a team where on paper should be cruising through the AL, but yet having a hard time to score runs, and it's like they don't adjust at times. And I think that starts from the hitting coaches. They, I know the hitting coaches can't hit for them, right? I know they can't adjust for them, right? They can control, but going back to what this Bregman earlier in the season when he went to the Red Sox, I do remember that the hitting coaches over there said Bregman came with a bunch of bad habits that they
Yeah.
were having to fix, right? So if at the end of the day, if the Astros can't offense doesn't get it together, I do think Citron's is on like his job's on the line. And I think the Astros will make changes for that. But again, give us your thoughts in the comments. What do you think the Astros make it to the playoffs in this last 3 weeks? They don't. What what move do you think is best for the Astros franchise? But I guess we can move on again. Like just to recap again, tough 3 weeks. We'll try to record after every series just to give you that update of what we see, our opinions there. Hopefully, it could be a 3 man. I think it's better that way. No, not to
One
use
thing,
that on.
one thing before we get into this pitching preview real quick, because we're almost about an hour in, and I know we gotta get out of here because you got school tomorrow for the kids as
Yeah.
well. So, but let me throw this in there real quick. Astros prospect Zach Cole is making the light shine. He's been going crazy in AAA for the Space Cowboys, batting 375, 479 OBP, 875 slugging, 15 hits, 15 RBIs, and 40 at bats with a 1.354 OPS. Alvarado says Cold World. He already got the
Yeah,
nickname for him.
yeah. Let me put this comment out here, and then we got
Alright.
Ant Matters already buying playoff tickets. He said Astros will make the playoffs. So
Already
yeah.
buying playoff tickets is crazy.
Oh, like his bank account might be looking a little bit thin now, but I'm sure he's trying to make it out.
Mr. Don Julio, that's what they call him. Don Juli.
That's what they call him, Mr. Don Julio.
Yeah, he's a ladies' magnet,
Dang,
Mr. Mars.
dang, Mr.
He's
Mars,
a,
all right.
he's a stud muffin.
But
But let's get on with this preview.
yeah, absolutely. So again, pitching matchups haven't really been posted by neither team, honestly, nor the Blue Jays or the Astros. But going into the Toronto again, they have the best record at this moment in the AL, 82 and 61. The Astros are 5 games back from Detroit and Toronto. Tuesday, Luis Garcia is scheduled to pitch his second outing of the season. Luis Garcia is 1-0 with a 4.50 ERA. In his first game back, Garcia wins 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 6 strikeouts. A really good first impression from that new arm slot that Garcia has. I think Astros fans are excited to see him back after that long absence. And they need the help in the pitching rotation, right? Because I was looking back, and as of late, when Framber Valdez and Hunter Brown pitched in the same series, the Astros, I think, have lost those series. And that's not ideal for the Astros because those are your two best guys. Whenever you have Framber Valdez penciled in the same series as Hunter Brown, you expect to win. But yet, that hasn't been the case lately. So having Luis Garcia as, pitching good, the Astros are hoping for another great outing from him. He did have 8 whiffs, averaged 91 mile per hour on the fastball. Like I know Luis Garcia hasn't had the fastest fastball in his career because he realizes more movement, but that's a little low. Then average could be that new arm slot, takes a little takes off. But he did have four strikeouts on the cutter, which has been his best pitch, throughout his career too. So I think Astros fans are glad that Cutter is cutting and doing his job. But again, the rest of the pitching outings are TBA. I do not
Uh,
have enough.
there's probables. So
Uh,
the
okay, go
probables
ahead.
are gonna be Luis Garcia versus Jose Berrios,
Okay,
Jason Alexander versus Shane Bieber, and then with Thursday start would be Christian Javier and Kevin Gosman, I believe.
cool. I'm glad you found that because I didn't have time to dive in that information. So I'm glad you found it.
Which these guys are. It's gonna be a good pitching lineup. The Astros are gonna have to face here. Jose Berrios knows how to move the ball a lot, and then Shane Bieber has been doing well since he came back. This with Blue Jays. He wasn't he like the ace for the Guardians before previously, or one of the top guys, one or two top three
Who?
guys? Shane Bieber.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
it is.
was the Guardians one of the top one or two guys, 1-2 punch guys, and then Gosman as well. He's been around for a while. He knows how to move the ball as well. So these are guys that are veterans and they know what they're doing as well for the Astros. I mean, Garcia, Jason Alexander, and Christian Javier. These guys should lead by example and all do pretty well. I think these guys should each keep the Astros in the game. And, you know, for some reason as well, Jordan likes to hit against the Blue Jays. So, little pick your stick type of guy for this series.
Yeah, and Jose Barrios has had to battle the Astros. Like when he does, it's been a constant battle. He's 6-4, but
hmm
has a 4.37 ERA in 11 starts against Houston. 57 innings. He's allowed 57 hits, so like basically a hit an inning, 28 earned runs, 9 home runs, and has a whip of 1.4, 1.405. So, it's been a very back and forth between Jose Barrios and the Astros. So, I mean, but it's doable. I think this is a series the Astros need. They've been lucky that the Seattle Mariners have been struggling just like the Astros have. So if the Seattle were playing a tick better, you would see I think the Seattle Mariners in first place right now. But I think that's pretty much it for the picture preview. Again, I appreciate Saban for looking that up because again I didn't have time to look that up.
As well with Shane Bieber he has a one on one record with 2.25 ERA and 26 strikeouts and only 3 appearances against the Astros. So the Astros are still kind of new to seeing Shane Bieber. So I mean they might struggle to adjust to him or they could do really well with him. I mean he's posted a good in the 3 starts, a pretty good little stat, 2.25 ERA with 26 Ks. It's pretty good in 3 game stretch against the Astros in his career. So
Yeah.
Astros need to be on their on their toes on this one because Shane Bieber has a lot of good pitch mix.
And I know the playoffs aren't here yet, but this seems like a playoff matchup right here, right now, because both teams are, have something to play for. The Astros trying to close.
Oh my bad, keep going. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I was just gonna say the Astros are, they both have something to play for. The Astros trying to seal the AL West once again, but the Yankees are right at the Blue Jays tail too, and the Blue Jays are trying to get that number one seed, I'm sure too. So a lot's at stake here. High stakes matchup, and this is gonna be a good, baseball in September. It's one of the best besides October, right? So be pretty good.
And the Blue Jays will be, I believe, without switch hitter Anthony Santander, who is rehabbing at the moment. So that's a power hitter that the Astros pitchers are probably glad that they don't have to do their pitching. What do they call it? Repertoire work or whatever. What's it called? The stats. I forget. I
Yeah,
forget the name of it.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, though. Yeah,
But
but you got the Astros injuries.
yeah, we could go ahead and move on. I was trying to just see any little extra things about the Blue Jays if they're missing any pieces or anything. But as well, Vladimir Guerrero has been pretty hot too. So that's a guy that you got to be cautious with because that guy could go very, very far at
There you go.
Roger Federer.
Their
Yeah, they're a
homework.
pitcher's homer. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, Jacob. I mean, there's a professional name for it, but you got me there. Thank you. Shout out you for correcting me there. But anyways, let's move on to the Astros injury update, the final thing of this episode. I want to thank y'all for sticking up with us an hour into this episode at 10:50, about to be 11
Yeah,
on
but
a
we're not keeping you for an hour and a half though. So
yeah, yeah, on the hour and on a Monday night. So shout out to all the full steam gooners, late night gooners, whatever you want to call yourselves, the full scheme squad, whatever. Thank y'all for being interactive in the chat. We really appreciate that. That makes our night a lot better, and it makes our job environment more exciting because we actually have people in here that are giving us their energy, their time, and their input too, as well, hearing our opinions on the Houston Astros. You don't have to listen to us, but you decide and choose to. So shout out to every single one of y'all. Um, so we're gonna start off here with Spencer Arrighetti per Chandler Rome. Spencer Arrighetti said his UCL is intact, but the flexor mass is pretty inflamed. They'll re-image in a couple weeks. After that goes down, Arrighetti does not think it will require any surgery, but said he won't pitch for the rest of the season, which is something that is kind of terrible to hear that he won't be able to pitch in the season. But if he can, if he doesn't need injury, I mean, if he doesn't need surgery and there's nothing to do with Tommy John, then you know possibly just shut him down for the season. I mean, if you don't want to risk sending him into the postseason, he could possibly be like, hey, I don't care. I took the month off and I'm gonna leave it all out there in the postseason. Y'all want to throw me out there and I get injured, I'm gonna do my job and possibly just leave my arm out there. But that's what you don't want. You know what I mean? And Spencer Arrighetti has that dog mentality in him as well, where he's possibly gonna be like, I don't give a damn. Like, put me out there. I'll leave my body on the line for it. But for the Houston Astros, if that's the case, shut the guy down and, try again next season. You got a lot of pitchers, JP France, Luis Garcia, Christian Javier, Framber, Alexander, Colton Gordon. The list goes on of names that you could throw out there when you do need a starter. So if Arrighetti goes down, then, might as well just kind of let him recover possibly, or maybe get that surgery done if he needs something done.
yeah, I agree. I think what's best for Getty is just be ready for next season.
Yeah.
Uh, honestly, but I did forget one team the Astros are facing. That's the Atlanta Braves. So after Toronto, they do go to uh Atlanta to face the Braves again, who are have a good team there. So again, a lot of good teams to come for the Astros that they need to beat. But yeah, I think for Spencer Getty, just shut him down. Hopefully it's not Tommy John because then he'll be out for probably the end of next year too, since it was a late injury to that elbow too. So, but hopefully it's nothing serious. But I appreciate all the love and support on the chat. We have Jacob Alvarado saying full steam, baby. Love Kevin, love you too. Anthony, love the pod today. Uh, when's the next live pod? Probably Thursday after the game. So Thursday, get ready. But yeah, we'll have you here for the playoffs. I'll try to stay up a little bit late uh when it comes to playoff time. So
I was
you know,
trying to find JP Francis stat line because I believe he did win yesterday, but I can't find it right now.
I mean, I guess we can talk about it next time.
Yeah,
For
we'll talk
sure, for
about it
sure.
next time. But let me get a little shout out to the Astros prospect Ethan Pecco, 6 innings pitched, 8 Ks, 1 walk, 3 hits versus the Dodgers organization.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
But
There you go. And
man,
then
one thing,
Jake,
well, yeah,
let me read this one comment. Series without the Getty in our rotation. Oh no.
the Getty. Yeah, honestly, yeah, Getty's a dog, man. This is a good pitcher. He's an exciting guy to see out there because when he's playing and he's healthy, he's making batters chase and whiff. So
Yeah, absolutely. But again, we appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the viewers staying up late with us. We didn't want to keep you too long, but hopefully, so again, like I said, is on the next one. I think it's like, although I think we did a really great job today, Seb. I think it's just a lot better with three people, just to pass the baton a little bit. Give it more insight, more input, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. I really appreciate y'all, man. It makes me so excited to see different faces, the same faces in here. You know, it's just we want to keep continuing building the community. And I think you forgot something, Angel. Where can you hear us at?
Oh yeah, don't forget it. In case you missed it earlier in the show, you can find us anywhere where you get your podcasts at Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You could also for any social media, live videos and all that good stuff. You can find us on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at Full Steam Ahead. Instagram is FSA at FSA Full Steam Ahead. So yeah, we'll get you there, get you right for anything Astros.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, do you have anything last words down before we go?
Nah, man. We had a, it was. I feel like it was a really good episode, and glad that we had you back here. You know, I bet you a lot of these guys miss hearing your input as well. So did I. You know, having you alongside with us. You know, miss joking
For sure,
around
for
or
sure.
miss the energy, miss the giggles and all that stuff. So you know, hopefully we can have you back again soon. You know, if it doesn't get too busy this week for you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Thursday again. I'm I should be good to go. So again, when's the next live pod? Again, Thursday. To get you that Atlanta Braves recap of the Blue Jays and then preview to the Atlanta Braves series. So we appreciate it and peace.
Peace out. Stay blessed.